Uh, so my name is Suresh. People call me as Surya as well. So I'll be more talking on the cloud architect side, data architect side, as well as I'm a community speaker from past 16 years and also working in the industry for a quite long time. So when I'm not with work, probably I love to be with my family, and anything which remains will be talking on the speakers part. So my topic for today is cloud security. No matter what, I'll be most predominantly work on data technologies. So my interest is more towards the cloud security. So let's spend some time understand the cloud security importance. So my session is the last one. So let's try to look for the importance of the cloud part. What are we going to talk today, and what is the agenda of it? I'll be talking about some areas on the cloud security, and what are the challenges and what are the threats you'll have, and what is a responsibility model when it is shared. I'll also going to talk about some security controls and some compliances, and also we'll be talking about some use cases and takeaways with having a security in place that should be doable for each one of us. If that doesn't make in place, definitely we would be running into issues. So each scenario we would talk about one use case, what happened with this cloud, and we would be talking on this. Okay. So firstly, I would talk about the threats and the challenges which happens. What would be the risk? What would be the threats which keeps happening in the cloud, and what are the challenges that you'll get? I rounded up several areas where we can see across the cloud challenges, security challenges, because it's all about data. Once you put on the cloud, you would predominantly look for either I put a secured layer, either I put something to be locked, where I have to lock and what I have to do is something that we need to know in a better way. So I will be talking on these areas in detail, and also providing the use case with each part. If I start from the first one, insufficient identity management, say like if you don't have access management methods in place, then definitely we would be locking ourselves into some threats. There were several examples which happened in the past. I have some examples like Capital One, where they got into some threats because of the misconfiguration of the cloud areas. I will talk on the exact area. We also have threats which are coming from Uber. The driver data and the users data information got misleaded, and that's where we need to understand why it happened, and that's where one of the point I wanted to cover here. If I don't have a proper API, if I don't have a lack of cloud security architecture, if I say about some third-party resources that you are giving exposure, and you are not scrutinizing all the areas where cloud could enter into, so some accidental data exposures would definitely happen. So we need to look in all the areas. It's huge. When I think about cloud security, people think that it's something like a service. It's something like it's not a service. It is going to be. It's not even a product. When you are good with the threats which are coming towards the cloud, what type of locks you're going to put, how you're going to security maintain part, and how you're going to get rid of the crimes, hackers, all these things. So these details will be going to talk with the use cases. I've given one approach on a shared responsibility model. If I talk on the cloud security part, it's just not only security is one of the area where we can talk. There are several responsibilities which comes with the security. It may be something called as models, we call it as. I have not listed here. I'm just making you aware, such that it's something called as IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS. Those are also models comes under your security. But which one you will be responsible for that? that would be decided by several organizations. I mean, I can say about any industry, either may be an automobile industry, or it may be a banking industry, or in banking industry usually we'll have too many frauds. So how you're going to securitize that part, and how you're going to share the resources between the environment is also we will be knowing about it. So down the line, when I'm talking on some identities, some access management, some permissions, where I can keep a gap of it, where I can put a block on that, that would be definitely going to help us to knowing about the security. I mean, we can definitely keep the security in line with all the services. If I definitely talk on some areas, if you just see the right hand side of the some checklist I have added here, if you understand the access control, if you understand the privileges, if you know the password policy, if you know the multi-factor authentication, if you know the access level, how far I'm going to give, and if I talk about some audits, if I'm talking about some monitoring aspects, everything would matter a lot. So these all 9 areas which I'm going to add. At the same time, the another slide which you are staying on the top, I'm exchanging a data between two people. So either it may be a message, it may be a email, it may be a photo, it may be a video. But the security context between two people, how I'm going to monitor whether I have any authentication models here, whether do have any approach on that, whether do I have created any policy, all these areas we are going to see. Okay, so in short, no matter it is any cloud platform, it is AWS, Azure, or GCP, or Oracle, anything. So one area which you have to see, where how good you are managing your security protocols, where you are keeping a block, where you are opening the ports, where you are accessibility you are given to so much that it should be easy for us to talk with any channels if I am talking about. Okay, so coming on to this, the introductory part of all the 5 topics which I was talking about, compliance and governance is one of the key area, because I play around with data. When I am securing my data with some level of governance, some level of blockers I keep it, nothing will happen to my data. I may be a data architect, I may be a data engineer, but there are many such situations which happen in the cloud that would probably help us, and which would be knowing for us how we can see the compliance. Do we have any regulatory protocols? Do we have a law? Do we have a governance? So in all these areas, every organization will keep a call, and they will keep it. They will discuss in the forum. They'll put every point onto the table, and they'll see to it like how we can polish the layers what the data is exposed. So one area, if I talk about the threats, the attacks, or maybe anything which regards to a data which is exposed to the cloud. If I'm keeping my data on the cloud, people will definitely have a fear, saying that no, how would I trust the cloud platform, whether it is secured one, or that how I'm going to, these vulnerabilities are really going to help me, or am I going to do a scanning, am I going to do a monitoring, am I going to keep some audits? So all those use cases that we'll be talking now, for next 6 to 7 use cases, we are going to talk for each scenario and what happened in the history. So this is first topic of the security context, where the breaches are happened and the lessons we learned. The one which I was talking about, the Capital One data breach, how it happened, and what went wrong with the Capital One data breach, and how much data we affected and lost the data in 2019. After 2019, it happened not just with the Capital One, it happened with Uber, it happened with some of the automobile industries as well. The data breach has happened because of what? We are really good at developing the things. We are really good at making sure that we will get a less cheaper rates of the cloud platforms and put our data. But are we really looking into the configuration patterns? Are we really looking about the audits? Are we really looking about the scannings? we may end up having these situations like I may have to put some more money. That's not the case actually. So the point is here, the first part which I was talking on the attackers, how they scrutinize the entire data. And I would also add one more point. The person who had the Capital One data, he pretend to have a AWS employee, AWS ex-employees. So people are saying it's not the fault of AWS, right? It's not the fault of the person who is working AWS. He got hacked with the data and how much it got affected to the customers. Like if you see 106 million customers got affected, and you have something on you compromised on SSN numbers, and you compromised on Canadian insurances, you compromised on bank account numbers. Everything got wiped out in just a matter of, I just listed the reason. It is all because of you misconfigured your AWS firewall. You just have to, maybe it is coming little more on the networking side. What I really wanted to let you know here is, when you are configuring something at the cloud level, when you are looking for something on the cloud level, in what area I have to look? Do I trust? Can I trust cloud? You can trust, but in what level you are doing the scanning? What level you are ensuring that the security is in date, or any challenges that you are having it, or at what level you are putting a security? And if I talk about any top companies are vulnerable. If you don't put any continuous monitoring and proper configuration, your data is going to be screwed up. How much good we develop, how much good we put the data into the context, because we are facing this situation from 5 years till now. I'll at the end I'll give you what solution we have taken. The data is getting breached. Maybe we work for different environments like financial sectors, we work for automobile sectors, but in which area we are looking for. So that's where I'm going to add here. So this one, the second approach is zero trust architecture. When I say about zero trust architecture, the classic approach which we have securing any network is like everything you keep it under one room and you just lock it. Everything you keep it. Just an example I'm giving you. No matter what, it's a database, no matter it's a photos, it may be a TV, it may be, just take an example of your scenario. You keep something at your home and you keep all into one room and you lock it. Why we have different, if I talk about the investments also, why we invest in different areas? We invest in banks, we invest in gold, we invest in real estate, different areas we invest. The reason for what? You wanted to secure. If something goes wrong with the gold, you have still money with your banks. If something goes wrong with your real estate, you have still some money is there with you. So you are securing in a similar way. You have to have that secure, we can call it as a zero trust, which is in a cloud. If you see on the last one, it protects each asset in a centralized policy. The one example I am coming on to, access management, that is going to be a centralized policy. So where each context of your asset is being locked, because either it may be in the cloud, it may be in a database, it may be in a system, anywhere, but everything being managed by where? It's managed by your centralized systems. That's what I was talking about. You cannot trust. Coming on to the main context, the zero trust architecture. What is zero trust architecture? You can never trust. Always you do verify. If someone is coming into this room and asking for a permission, you have to have authentication. You have to authorize this person. You cannot just allow like, okay, fine, you can just, until unless we don't have this ID, no one is going to allow us, right? If I'm just coming in a nicely dressed up and coming in all those things, then no one will encourage you. So zero trust even in your cloud as well. Making sure that putting a data, anything on a cloud, you need to have zero trust policy. And takeaway is like, when you are having a zero trust policy, everything being accessed and everything is validated. That's where we are going to see. Okay. Coming on to automation and AI and ML. Nowadays, we are too much to talk on agentic AI, LLM models, AI security. ML. It looks so. It's a recent technology, I would call it as. And when you are talking about this technology, and whether this technology also requires of protocols, whether this technology also have a security in place, right? Where are you going to evaluate it? You're going to evaluate on a monitor. You're going to analyze it. You're going to automate it. You're going to remediate it. This has to everything goes in your automation. No matter what, you're keeping it on cloud. You can't sit in front of the system and keep watching the data. Who is taking the data? So something coming onto your cloud security, you have that automation in place with your AI and ML. There are some services which is coming. I just added AWS service. You will have the services on Azure as well. Why? Because it keeps scanning any anomalies that you are getting detected, and it will fix the issue. If it is maybe your human error, it may be a threat. This system, the cycle of the 5 stages you see, right? Monitor, evaluate, analyze, automate, and report and remediate. You don't have to sit in front of that. You will scrutinize that mechanism. You will ensure that your all policies should be followed, and that's where the takeaway is. Now, once automation is in place, once your AI is helping you to detect your threats or any type of human errors, if the person is coming with unauthorized access to the cloud environment, I will have a model. I will detect this person is coming without any authentication. I will have to stop this. Then that's where I keep the model, and that would be taking ahead with a lot of effort. And you have tools available. The one tool which I have added here is AWS guard duty that will detect every time whenever you have any issues coming out to your cloud. So simply, I would also like to add one point. No matter what, it's a customer data. No matter what, it's my employee data. No matter what, it's my vehicle data. No matter what, it's my patient's data. No matter what, it's my claims related data. Anything which you are keeping it on the cloud, you will have some areas where you would have to stop, and you have to identify whether this person is authorized or not, that you will be looking at it. I just add one additional point here, which are on the benefits of IAM. Okay, IAM is nothing but your access management system. So that comes with your identity and access management systems. Even if your mobiles also, right now, if your mobiles itself comes with some level of authentication. When you open your mobile, it will ask for your thumbprint, or that may be a multi-factor authentication. Or some areas you would put a passkey to enter into your systems. So that is also one way of securing. If you see the first approach which I was giving you, anything which you wanted to have the access method management, it maybe comes with a key, it maybe comes with some thumbprints, or it may be something you protected to that. So nowadays you might see it comes with SSO authentication. Everything comes as SSO authentication. Some of the softwares are being utilized in that way, and they are migrating. So you ensure that, suppose I work as a data engineer or a data architect for an organization. So I will definitely have some limited access on the cloud. I will definitely have a limited access. I don't have a elevated access on that cloud because I'm just a developer. The reason to pick this topic is only because it's been 5th year. We are completely getting hacked. We are completely getting threatened by data hackers. Some areas we are not even concentrating, and some. If you are a developer, you look for that, you just finish your work. But when it comes to protecting your data, if your possibility of data leaks are not in place, you will be done. Okay, so coming on to the least privileges, MFA, RBAC, these are some security layers where you can see about the threats which you are talking about, right? So in that context, what I would like to add, there is something called as a management. There's something called as a management, that is cloud security posture management. That's where it will keep scanning all this. That's kind of a tool I would call it as. So can you just see here? It's as simple as like, the aeronautical systems, when you are landing, when you are taking a flight, everything being managed from the back end. The traffic is managed by the back end. Now your security layers also has to manage from the back end. Someone is keeping a watch on you. Someone is keeping a watch on you, that if you are mistakenly, if you are doing something, you have to have an incident on an immediate basis. I've given example of the aeronautical system, airport space system. Why? Because someone is keep deeply watching you and looking at what actions you are doing it, right? So now, example like if you are opening S3 bucket, just an example like AWS has S3 bucket, you're opening it and you're exposing that to a databases, your configurations, you are doing a misconfigurations continuously. Your CSPM tool is there to assist you, and that would takes care of your data for your continuous and essential part. You just have to do a hygiene of your security every time. If you don't do a security hygiene, then you're done with your systems. How much ever you keep your data, that would be definitely going to hit your systems and hit your business or hit your any layer that you are going to talk about. I also wanted to add, initially I mentioned, right, we are being attacked by 5th year in a row. So what we have done on the last, when we understood that something is going bad with our data, even we are doing a data processing. Maybe you are doing some understanding on the technological events where you protect the data in your reuse. So we created something called as an enclave environment. For us, we play with the data. We created a data enclave environment. When I say data enclave is nothing but a secured environment. I keep everything into that bucket. Say that this is your enclave. You keep everything in this room only. Someone has to enter in this room. He has to have a firewall blockage. He has to have some area where he need to know that what type of entry that I need to get into so that I would be exposed to this type of data. So I've given example of CMMC secure enclave. What we implemented as a data enclave, that's where we need to know how good we can protect with the technology which are available in the market. Maybe it is little expensive for us, and down the line, what I'm protecting it, whom I'm trusting, and how I'm going to procure my company's data, where I'm working at this moment. That way I will be thinking in this context. And I would add this one more point. When it comes to a security certifications and the framework, when it comes to the security services and the framework, like everything has to be certified to be in place with your cloud environment. If I don't say that my company using some standards, it may be on ISO, it may be on some of the CSPM tools management, or it may be on the SOC. These all will be a trusted and authorized services way which will keeps you and helps you on this. Okay, so these frameworks will guide you in your organization for your best practices. Any framework, if I am talking on this framework like cloud monitoring, rollback, data governance, identity access management, employee training. If I am going in this flow, if I am keeping a block, and if I am ensuring that how my framework is in place, is it authorized to use any of the certification to build a trust, whether I have a cybersecurity, do I have a controls, do I have any management program, or do I have any certification that is in place with my services? That's where I'm going to see when I'm talking about the security context. So on a summary note, I just wanted to add only one quick point. The cloud security is not a product. I would just add it the last key note by saying that your cloud security is not a product. It's a continuous journey of having a vigilance, automation, and trust. If you don't keep the things in line with your monitoring, keeping a watch, what is happening with all those things, that would be definitely going to hit your systems. So making sure that your cloud security, or maybe it's on a data side, it's maybe on a platform side, it may be on the engineering side, it may be on the data science side, it would be good to know, and that you can explore. I would say that this is about all my sharings of the knowledge, what I have and what I've been gone through with our industries, that I've showcased with set of examples here. So we will be stopping our talk now. I'm done with this. I think time is also over. Thank you very much, guys. Okay.